highest number of people at over 150. In Kedah, the Sultan Abdul Halim Airport resumed operations today after being closed for 10 days due to severe flooding. Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Chief Tan Sri Azambaki has clarified that its investigations into the Human Resource Development Corporation, or HRD Corp, are ongoing. This comes after reports that the graftbuster has cleared the HRD Corp's management of any violations under the MACC Act.
Azam said MECC had opened several files on HRD Corp and that they are still with the assigned investigators, with several awaiting the decision of a deputy public prosecutor. Last July, MECC began its probe into HRD Corp following allegations of corruption, abuse of power and misappropriation of funds. HRD Corp came under scrutiny after the Public Accounts Committee revealed that 3.77 billion ringgit in levy collections were used for several high-risk investments. The PAC also flagged suspicious property deals, like the purchase of Menara Ikhlas for 202.5 million ringgit in February 2021. Following this, HRD Corp CEO Datuk Shahul Hamid Daud went on temporary leave to facilitate the probe, but has now returned to work.
The government aims to separate the powers of the Attorney General and the Public Prosecutor at the very least by next year. Deputy Law Minister M. Kulasegaran told Parliament that while the government has the necessary two-thirds majority to amend Article 145 of the Federal Constitution, the process will require thorough groundwork.
The Cabinet approved an empirical study in August 2023. Kulasegaran said an interim report is expected by March next year. 2 special task forces have been established to oversee the reform in 3 phases. The first phase included study trips to Australia and Canada earlier this year, with a visit to the UK planned soon. The second phase focuses on assessing legal and financial implications through the Attorney General's chambers and the Prime Minister's department. Kulasegaran acknowledged the process is taking time but reaffirmed the government's commitment to carrying out the reform.
A total of 4,424 child abuse cases have been reported as of August this year, with 3 occurring in childcare centres. Deputy Women, Family and Community Development Minister Dato Sri Dr. Noraini Ahmad says in most cases, the abusers were people the children knew.
Noraini highlighted that most child abuse cases occur in unregistered childcare centres, which the ministry cannot monitor effectively. She was responding to Balik Pulau MP Datuk Muhammad Bakhtiar Wanchik's question about whether the ministry plans to amend laws to require childcare centres to obtain the special card from the Social Welfare Department to prevent abuse. For now, the ministry is focusing on awareness. Its child advocacy program aims to educate the public on preventing child abuse and is open to suggestions for reducing such incidents, especially in childcare centres.
The AutoGate system outage at the Customs, Immigration and Quarantine Complex in Sultan Iskandar, Johor Bahru on Sunday was caused by a faulty core switch. State Immigration Director Datuk Muhammad Rusdi Muhammad Darus says the issue also affected the QR code scanning system in the bus hall.
He said that the system failure was under the responsibility of building management company Syarikat TMR Urus Harter Sendirian Berhad. He added that remedial work was immediately carried out after the technical issue was detected around 12:30 p.m. Tens of thousands of bus commuters were left stranded following the technical glitch, resulting in disrupted immigration clearance at the bus arrival and exit halls. This prompted officers to resort to manual clearances, causing delays of up to 4 hours for commuters.
Climate-related disasters like floods, droughts and landslides are becoming more frequent in Kuala Lumpur, raising serious concerns about the city's resilience to these challenges. What can be done to reduce these risks and build a climate-resilient capital? Dr. Camelia May Lee Kusumo from Taylor's University shares her insights on the way forward.
That the amount of the rain that falls in KL become more and more. Maybe the frequency may be not as much as before, but when it does, there are more water coming to the ground. And of course, and not only that, when we are in the dry season, then we have drought, then everything so dry, then we have lack of water. So this kind of extreme changes has impacted how the city functions. And that's why I think this is some of the issue that we need to address, and we need to address it quickly, not later.
Camilla also stresses how human activities are a major driver of climate change.
We, as the residents of the Kuala Lumpur, also has some contribution to this climate change. For example, by building the city more and more, and leaving actually just to small green areas. There are not enough space for the water, the rainfall, the water from the rainfall actually to drain as quick as possible. So it's a combination, and I mean also that so there are many things that that we also contributed by, for example, by using more cars. If you notice also, especially after the COVID, there are more traffic jams in the city than before.
She emphasizes the urgent need for a city-level climate adaptation plan that can tackle specific climate risks in Kuala Lumpur.
We need to have a city-level adaptation plan. We do know that the Malaysian government is working to have the national adaptation plan. However, that is in the national level. We need actually to have the city-level adaptation plan. That is the first step. And second, we need actually to have a plan how to mitigate all these risks. And this mitigation plan have to be integrated as well with the city plan, also the structure plan of the future structure plan of Kuala Lumpur. So, for example, which area we shouldn't build, which area that we can build. So, and then ensuring that we have enough measure to mitigate, to adapt ourselves to this climate change.
We'll head for a quick break. Stay tuned.
Rambut gugur lagi? Macam mana Gunakan Pantene Baharu dengan provitamin mikro yang meresap dan menguatkan rambut dari dalam. Rambut 10 kali lebih kuat terhadap rambut gugur. Pantene Baharu. Shopee $12. Dijamin harga rendah di Shopee. 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 12 juta ringgit voucher Shopee Live. Shopee. Beli sekarang. Kerap menggaru kulit kepala disebabkan kelumumut, masalahnya lebih mendalam. Gunalah Head & Shoulders baru, menembusi 5 lapisan untuk membasmi kelumumut dan kegatalan. Bebas kelumumut sehingga 100%. Head & Shoulders baru.
Welcome back. Ousted Syrian President Bashar al-Assad is reportedly in Moscow after fleeing Damascus. According to Russian state media, he and his family have been granted asylum there following rebels' seizure of the capital. On Monday, Syrians woke up to a hopeful but uncertain future for their country that has been under 13 years of civil war and more than 50 years of the Assad regime. Since assuming power, rebels have been releasing inmates from Syria's prisons, including the notorious Sednaya military prison. Many more are reported to still be in captivity in hidden underground cells. A curfew has also been declared from 4 p.m. to 5 a.m. local time to curb looting and arson at public institutions and shops. There are now attempts to establish a new order in the country, likely led by Syrian rebel leader Abu Muhammad al-Jawlani, while Moscow is calling for an emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council later today in order to discuss what happens next. South Korea's Justice Ministry has banned President Yoon Suk-yeol from leaving the country following his attempt to impose martial law. He is currently under investigation for alleged treason and rebellion amid growing calls for him to step down. The travel ban was imposed at the request of police, prosecutors and an anti-corruption agency as they expanded their probe into the circumstances surrounding Yoon's power grab. Yoon narrowly avoided impeachment on Saturday after members of his ruling People Power Party boycotted the vote. However, in a joint address with Prime Minister Han Duck-soo,
Party leader Han Dong-hun said the president would be excluded from his official duties. Yoon has apologized for the failed attempt to impose martial law and said he would leave his political fate to the party but has not resigned. The opposition vowed it would push for another impeachment vote scheduled for December 14th.
US President-elect Donald Trump has announced plans to deport millions of undocumented migrants when he takes office in January. He also renewed promises to pardon his supporters involved in the attack on the US Capitol in early 2021.
In his first televised interview since winning a second presidency last month, Trump said there could be exceptions for those who acted radical during the attack. The January 6 Capitol riot left more than 140 police officers injured and resulted in several deaths. Hundreds have since been convicted for their roles in the incident. Trump is also targeting immigration policies. He plans to end birthright citizenship, which currently guarantees U.S. citizenship for anyone born on American soil, and deport undocumented immigrants, even those with U.S. citizen family members. But he signaled a willingness to work with Democrats to protect dreamers, immigrants brought to the U.S. as children, acknowledging their contributions to the economy.
"2024 has officially been confirmed as the hottest year on record since global temperature measurements began, according to the EU's Copernicus Climate Change Service. Average global temperatures this year exceeded 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, marking a stark milestone in the climate crisis.
Severe droughts, deadly floods, heat waves and cyclones have battered the world this year, all linked to human-caused climate change. Despite global efforts to reduce carbon emissions, CO2 levels are projected to hit a record high in 2024. And while the recent UN climate talks secured a $300 billion US deal, poorer nations have criticized it as falling short of addressing the skyrocketing costs of climate-related disasters. Looking ahead, scientists warn that a potential La Niña in 2025 might temporarily cool global temperatures, but won't reverse the long-term warming trend driven by emissions. The previous hottest year on record was 2023. Cutting emissions to net zero is crucial to prevent further global warming.
That wraps up AWANI Tonight. Do check out our revamped English web portal, delivering in-depth news and analysis to keep you informed on the critical events shaping our world. All in one place at international.astroawani.com. That's all for now. I'm Faye Kwan. Thank you for watching and good night.
Kemenangan amat diperlukan.